It is an absolute pleasure and a privilege to be back here once again as Labour's candidate in Shrewsbury. I was formerly an army officer, I'm a doctor, I'm a mum. My youngest is just 10 weeks old, so the timing of the election wasn't perfect, but I'm enjoying the challenge nonetheless. Since I joined the Labour Party when I was 16 years old, I've been a passionate campaigner for social justice. And the simple principle that undermines my entire ideology is that it is categorically unfair that purely by accident of birth, some children are destined to do well in life and some children are not. Now, I do appreciate that doing well in life is a somewhat ambiguous term, but let's take it to be fulfilling educational potential, sustaining employment, being able to form lasting relationships and being healthy. It's unfair that children from poorer backgrounds do worse at school than their wealthier peers. It's wrong that employment prospects as adults are affected by things that are completely beyond the control of that child. Small gaps in advantage early on are magnified later in life, and this is simply not a situation I am prepared to accept. Now, I know that all of you know that education is the foundation upon which social justice can be built. Many of the advances made since 1997 under the Labour government are being eroded by a toxic combination of fiscal incompetence and ideological mismanagement. The discrepancy in life chances between one child and another is not born within a day of each other in the same town, to me is not just a tragedy, but it's a crime. Conservative education policies have and will only exacerbate the problem. Savage cuts to funding, which will affect the poorest the hardest. Grammar schools, which are divisive and unfair. Continuation of the state subsidy of private schools via charitable status. Early years provision, 1,200 Sure Start centres have been closed since 2010. And finally, university tuition fees, which Labour will scrap and reintroduce maintenance grants, so that university education is something accessible to everybody, not just those whose parents can afford to bail them out of debt. It's every politician's responsibility and duty to use their ability and their conscience to develop sound, economically achievable and evidence-based policies. And it's the evidence base among education professionals that we need to use. Thank you very much.